Greetings and welcome to episode 204 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander. I'm joined this week by the glorious one, Mr. Moody. The glorious and statuesque one.
How you doing?
How you doing? Forget about it. Do you think the lockdown is driving us to a bit mad?
I was mad before, but I think I might be going a little bit more mad. I
was going to say, when Keith rejoined that Apex Legends game we were playing the other night, I was trying to remember what night it was. Nights, time, it's all meaningless these days. Sometime in the past week when we were playing, and he rejoined, and we were just in hysterics of laughter so bad that we couldn't talk.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago. Okay.
Yeah, Thursday.
That
was Thursday. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
What a concept.
What is Thursday? Isn't every day just Sunday these days now? For everybody.
Isn't every day just the same day? Like, it's all just one thing, right? Like, time as a concept, as a man-made concept, is meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been thinking about this the last year in lockdown, and what that tells me is I really need to get out of the house and go somewhere and interact with other people face to face.
Shit, we can't do that
because I'm losing my mind.
This was also on Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen.
God, this is the Words About Gamescast. Every week, we discuss what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, games culture over the past 7 days.
Keep going. I gotta see how long you can do this.
This week, we discuss Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. Key 3. I forgot to put that joke in there. New release dates for The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. The newly revealed next installment in the Assassin's Creed franchise. And more. And for anyone who wants to watch this podcast in any order they see fit, if they only want to watch specific parts of the podcast, or if they want to watch the whole thing backwards, there are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube. So you can click around and do whatever you want. We're just happy that you're here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I've got it back. I've got my composure back now. I don't know. Nothing set me off there. Literally nothing. Anyway, should we dive right into it before we lose our shit again?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Story number 1, and it's a big one. It's an exciting one. It's finally, something good has finally happened during this lockdown, because we've had some okay stuff, but a lot of bad stuff. And you brace yourself for, like, bad things to happen, because, like, you know, bad news follows bad news. But finally this week, the dam broke. I don't know if it's a dam.
It did indeed.
It's a dam now, right? It's a dam. And it broke. Summer Game Fest, a new digital celebration, promises months of gaming news and events. This is from Megan Farakmanesh over at The Verge, who writes, Summer Game Fest, a new industry-wide celebration of video games that will span from May through August, was announced last week, Friday, I think. It will bring breaking news, in-game events, and free playable content from companies across the game industry all season long. Jeff Keighley will act as both curator and host for pre- and post-shows in a lineup that includes companies such as Bethesda, Blizzard Entertainment, CD Projekt Red, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, Riot, Sony, and Square Enix. Late spring and summer typically bring about a huge number of announcements for the game industry. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, however, the year's biggest events, including GDC, South by Southwest, E3, and Gamescom, have all been restricted to online only or outright cancelled. Unlike those conferences, which last a few days and rely heavily on in-person presence, Summer Game Fest is built to function as an all-digital event. Furthermore, it runs from May to August, making it the first gaming festival of its kind. Events will stream via all major channels, including Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. As for details around specific events, publishers will handle those announcements directly. Platforms such as Steam and Xbox will also offer demos and trials of some games for a limited time. The Steam Game Festival Summer Edition is set for June 9th to June 14th. Quote, "In these uncertain and challenging times, it's more important than ever that video games serve as a common and virtual connection point between us all," Keighley said in a prepared statement. SGF is an organising principle that promises fans a whole season of video game news and other surprises from the comfort of home. End quote. I picked up a couple of other bits because while we were playing that match of Apex Legends, I was reading through Keely's AMA on Reddit, which is where I got Key 3 from. So the full list of participants currently announced in what Keely's calling Phase 1 are Activision, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Blizzard, Bungie, CD Projekt Red, Digital Extremes, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, Sony, Square Enix, Private Division, Riot Games, Steam, and Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. It's a beefy list. The Phase 1 schedule is set to be released on Tuesday. This week's Inside Xbox, which we'll talk about as part of this thing, I'm sure, showcasing third-party games on Xbox Series X, is a part of the Summer Games Festival. The Summer Games Festival Twitter account also tweeted that new game announcements would start in this coming week. And Jeff Keighley described the 4-month-long event as like a Google Calendar for the games industry, or like a concert venue. Just to clarify, he's not hosting 4 months worth of shows. He's good, but he's not that good.
All hail Jeff Keighley.
All hail our new overlord, Jeff Keighley. Criticised E3, left E3, told E3 off, usurped E3. All in the space of like a month and a half.
Yep. This has basically become the... It's now... I don't care how this goes or anything like that. It could go overall okay or anything like that. I think because of what's obviously with the consoles and new consoles are coming, I think this is going to go fantastically. Especially with the new games that we do not know anything about. I think everyone's just going to be like, oh my giddy aunt, what the hell? This is, I think, the question will be, will this become the new norm from next year even? Will this now start from May, from now often, this giant summer gaming festival event for 4 months, all the way up till, I'm guessing, till boys just basically finish basically for Gamescom or something like that.
Yeah, Gamescom opening night live is like the season finale.
Yeah. So that's... you asked this very question when we were playing and giggling our asses off on Thursday night. But which everyone's been asking this question all since last year. Is E3 actually, not only is it relevant anymore, but is it actually going to die?
Well,
and is it because of this?
Yeah, like, we talked about E3 extensively over the last sort of couple of months. Like, it got cancelled. Yeah. Like, the in-person, the conference, in the LA Convention Center got cancelled. Which, everybody kind of just shrugged their shoulders and said, yep, fair enough. Global pandemic, COVID-19, it makes perfect sense. You're not going to hold E3 during these crazy, wacky times. And then they cancelled their online plans to do online stuff, which, was a head scratcher, which we've been scratching our heads out for weeks. Especially as more and more, like, gaming outlets have been coming out and saying they're doing their own stuff. We'll get to another one later on. But now you're in this kind of weird position where if next year, if E3 does come back, which it will, like, they'll do E3 2021, as long as the world has gone back to some state of normality. Yeah, thank you. Weird that I blanked on the word normality.
It's been a long week, gamer.
Yeah, it has. If it comes back, it's not going to be the main event, because if the Summer Game Fest is happening, E3 2021 is just going to be a piece of the Summer Game Festival.
Yeah.
Which is ironic as hell.
Yeah. That's how crazy it was. Like I said, he left E3. He was not going along with whatever E3 are going to do and everything, or what they were going to do, and obviously they're aiming to do next year. for me, to them to survive, they need to basically get in contact with Jeff Keighley and come out and say, "Yo, can we be a part of this next year?" Because this is, you got to be thinking. Yes, he won't be thinking of next year at all. He'll be
No, not
literally
at all.
thinking of the next 4 months and everything, getting it all planned out. Speaking to every game developer, he's probably the amount of people he's probably spoken to since he's left. Since he came out saying I'm not going to be at E3 this year or whatever, is got to be amount over to the hundreds and everything. And to think who he's got, all these companies who are coming to do this type of thing. Like I say, they literally said the games that you start finding out for things for the next gen next week. That is a fantastic thing to hear. And basically, Microsoft are going to kickstart that.
Yeah, like we've been grasping at straws for so long, and now it's like, it's next week.
We've all been pulling our hair out saying, what's going on? When are we going to find out things? Where's Sony? Where's Microsoft? Why aren't you talking about things? What are you doing? Stop just showing us the box or controller. Show us the goddamn games and everything like that. But what we've all been waiting for and what we've been praying to see and everything. And now it's finally here. I wouldn't say patience, because we haven't been bloody patient one bloody bit. We haven't. We've been whining and crying like big babies.
We've been picking apart every little thing.
Yeah, wanting our toys basically to play with.
What does this mean for the future of PlayStation? Like, that's been our bread and butter for 4 months. Yeah, 4 months
basically. And it's starting from next week. One of the things that we're going to be talking about later on, we're going to see the first gameplay for it next week, which was revealed this week, which we'll get onto, which I can't wait for and everything, which is super exciting. And to hear that Sony are a part of this, that's exciting to me. That makes me think Sony are now getting truly ready to say, we are going to start talking properly now to you and show you what you want is the games. Yes, we want to see what this thing looks like, their PlayStation 5. There's no doubt about that. But deep down, we want to know what are their games. And for me, this literally says they are on the way. Yes, Microsoft are coming out first. That's fine. Doesn't really bother me. As long as they've got good shit to show me, that's all I care about. But to see all of this, like to see companies like Bungie are there. Not Bungie,
Bungie are
Activision. No, I said the wrong, because I'm not, I forget. Bungie and Activision, they're not together anymore. Yeah. Activision are there. I didn't expect that. I thought Activision would just do their own thing.
Gotta reveal that new card this month.
Well, they could easily just do that by themselves. But for them to come out and say, no, we're joining this, we're going to push this, even though everyone calls them the most anti-consumer company out there, along with EA, they're there.
All right.
And that's brilliant.
No, yeah, it's really good. Like, it's because of the way I think this works that you pull everyone in, right? Like, Sony, don't do E3, they're doing this. Microsoft, don't go to E3, they're doing this. EA, don't go to E3, they're doing this. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, like, generally don't do E3, they're doing this. Like, Bethesda said they were going to do something for, like, in replacement of E3, then said they weren't going to do something in replacement for E3. Now they're a part of this. Like, it's because, unlike E3, when companies sign up to go to do E3, it's on the ESA's terms. You go at the LA Convention Center, you do the thing, you do your presentation, you have to be in the hall, you have to do this, you have to pay this to do this, and it costs money. Whereas what the Summer Games Fest is, it's not focused on just 1 week, where everybody's drowning each other out and it's a dog pile.
Yeah.
It's focused over 4 months, and it's whatever these different companies want it to be. Like the first event in this festival is an Inside Xbox. And we know what an Inside Xbox is. We've seen that before. You couldn't get away with doing an Inside Xbox at E3, but you can do it with this because Microsoft can do whatever the fuck they want because that's the agreement that's been made. So you'll see all sorts of different stuff.
What sets this up, they can do this weekly as well. They can literally we're going to find out what the first phase is and schedule is from Tuesday, I believe you said.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. So when we're literally going to find out on Tuesday, and we might literally hear the week after is Bethesda, and the week after that is Square Enix or Warner Brothers, and the week after that is maybe Sony or something. If we hear something like that, and just to know that every week we're going to get something to see, that is just enticing as hell. It's not E3 was always the thing of saying, oh yes, three or 4 days of nothing but games, which we're going to talk about and get energized, stay up late, eat popcorn or whatever, and just go, oh my God, with the games. But to think that we're going to have that hopefully sustained till the end of August is mouthwatering. It really
it's a great,
is.
it's a really cool proposition. Like, not everything will be an inside Xbox level of thing. Like, one week it might just be, oh, Square Enix is doing a thing, and then you tune in and it's like, it's like a new trailer for Tell Me Why. Like, it's not something like a huge megaton thing, but the fact that there's going to be a schedule for it and you can see in advance, like, oh, cool, like, this is going to drop here, or Activision's doing something here, or 2K is doing something here, or here's even just like smaller stuff where it's like, here's something about Borderlands 3 DLC, or whatever the case may be. It's like, that's really, really cool, and a really cool way of doing it. And you can still keep that mystique where it's just, there's a Ubisoft thing on the, I know they're not a part of it, but that was the first. There's a Sony thing on the schedule. Like, wonder what that could
We're
be.
guaranteed a new game, basically, probably not guaranteed, but something to talk a game. We're going to be talking about a game every week.
Yeah.
Until the end of August.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're going to be saying, this looked awesome. It may not be for me, but I'm going to give it a try, and I'm excited for this. And I love that people are excited for it, you know? Not to be down, because we've had a lot of downer stories on talked about and everything, but all we want to do is just be celebrating the love what we all have for video games. And to see this, again, I'm going to say it again, all bloody hail Jeff flipping Keighley.
Yeah. Like,
if I ever meet that man, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah. Well played, sir. If I ever meet that man, I'm going to literally tell you right now, I'm going to get he's going to literally get me arrested because I'm going to kiss that bugger. and I'm going to get arrested and probably punched by him. But I will accept that black eye.
I mean, I would consider, like, kissing him. But in the age of social distancing, I'll just elbow bump. I'll have to do. Just a quick elbow bump. Just be like, hey, you're the man. You did it.
Yeah.
You are the new. You are the, like, you are everything. Like, literally, like, Summer Games Fest, E3, Gamescom, Game Awards. You're literally everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's a good job he's not an evil villain.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, though, he's so passionate. He wants to share everything for everybody. He wants to celebrate every single game. Even if he doesn't like the game or if he doesn't click with the game, he still wants to celebrate the most important thing of the games, the developers. And he wants to shine a light on them. And that's why I think where him and E3 have obviously parted ways over, because they wanted to go in a more celebrity content creator type thing push and all that, and which was going to be very less developer centric, which is very unfair because they're the ones who should be then talked about, not all the content creators or the celebrities and everything. It's the games and developers, and that's Jeff Keighley coming out and doing this. Fabulous.
It's just about the games, not about the spectacle. The spectacle comes with it. Like, the spectacle is the games.
It's all about which celebrity plays which game. We don't care about that.
I don't give a shit.
No one
I don't
ever
give a
has.
shit if Snoop Dogg and Zac Efron are getting stoned playing Battlefield. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. Like, it was amusing for a minute, but yeah, it's like, which E3 was that? It was 2 years ago, 3 years, no, whatever.
Battlefield 5 one that they played.
Battlefield.
So it was
yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, I
so
just remember
about 3 years ago now, I think, isn't it? Battlefield 5's 3 years old, isn't it?
Battlefield 5 was last
2-3 years ago.
Last year,
isn't it?
Pretty sure.
Was it? Battlefield 5 wasn't last year, was it?
Battlefield.
Was it
2018.
Okay, so 2 years ago.
First release 20th of November, 2018.
What crazy!
I typed it into Google and it says people also asked, and the first question is Battlefield 5 good now? Wow, savage.
I won't lie. I bet that was the same for Battlefront 2. So
it's the same with all like EA's online shooters that aren't made by Respawn Entertainment. It seems to be. Is it good yet? Is it good yet?
Does it work?
Inside Xbox, right? That's going to be cool. We're going to talk about one of the things later on in this show. That's going to be New game reveals, Moody. They said I don't know whether it's the same thing. They said that the Xbox is a thing for the Summer Game Fest, and there's going to be new game reveals from this week. And I just put the two together, and I was like, "Ooh, what's gonna get announced? Batman."
Please, no, no.
Harry Potter.
Yes.
Like what?
That's something new.
Like that's the thing. It's like you go into E3 and you're like, you've got a reasonable idea of 90% of what you're gonna see at E3.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Son of Games Fest. I've got no idea. Like I'm looking at Inside Xbox, going, what could they show?
But two guaranteed things. One we're going to talk about later, and one is Halo Infinite.
And Halo Infinite.
That's two guarantees for me.
They won't talk about Halo Infinite this Thursday because it's a third-party show. So it's just their third-party partners. This is the thing about what Xbox is doing. This is just stage one.
Yeah.
This is look at what our cool partners are working on. So you'll probably see like Elden Ring. I'll probably it could be a thing that you see there because that was an Xbox thing. Tales of Arise was at E3 last year, so you might see that. But then there's going to be an entirely separate thing for their first parties, and they also still need to reveal the console. So that's at least another one or two.
No, they need to tell us the price and date, but they don't need to show us the console. We know what it looks like.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They need to reveal the console. Yeah. You know what I meant. They need to reveal it and be like, here's the price. Here's when it's coming out.
That's the only reveal they need to do.
Here's all the games that you can get for day one. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up because the reveals for these next generation consoles are weird. I don't like them. They're unpredictable.
Both are being weird. One's been very positive weird, and one's been very negative weird.
Speaking of the people who are being negative weird, see how I did that? Nice little barrel roll into the next news story. Release date updates for The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. This is from Herman Holst over at PlayStation Blog. He writes, as our teams at Sony Interactive Entertainment and Worldwide Studios approach development milestones and confront a world changed by COVID-19, we find ourselves having to adapt to today's ever-changing environment. Amidst some disruptions to our working styles, we wanted to provide an update to PlayStation gamers who are eager to learn when our next exclusive titles will arrive to PlayStation 4. As we begin to see an ease in the global distribution environment, I am pleased to confirm that The Last of Us Part 2 will arrive on June 19th, and Ghost of Tsushima will follow on July 17th. I think I just heard Russell just cry out in agony somewhere in the distance. That his next big game from Fantasy League's just been delayed. I want to personally congratulate and thank both the teams at Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch Productions on their achievements. As we know, it's not an easy feat to reach the finish line under these circumstances. Both teams have worked hard to deliver world-class experiences, and we can't wait to see what you think of them when they release in just a few short months. And finally, I want to thank the PlayStation community for their continuous support and patience. Herman, doesn't log on to the PlayStation Twitter account very often. Support and patience. PlayStation fans. Support and patience. So, that indefinite delay turned out to be
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you call it an indefinite delay? Why? You didn't need to do that.
Well, we all know why they put out a new release date because of the leaks. Though I'll say right now for everybody, we don't know anything about it. We haven't seen anything, and we will not spoil anything. So don't worry about that.
And just know that if you do post spoilers in the YouTube comment section of this video, I am a spirit of vengeance, and I will destroy your entire life.
And I have the number for John Wick, so...
But yeah, I mean, we still got so long. It's so long to go. If I get spoiled, I get spoiled. It's that far away. It's not like the new Star Wars film where I just have to kind of go la 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 for a couple of days, and I'm good.
That is true. If I've took precautions just to be smart and everything like that. But if I get spoiled, I get spoiled. and everything like that.
Super great timing to be making a video about the original Last of Us when everyone's got the Last of Us muted on Twitter. Dickheads. Yeah, so that's coming. Ghost of Tsushima was delayed because I guess they don't want another game coming out like the week after The Last of Us Part 2. It's probably a little bit too close for people to spend like money on 2 games.
Yeah. I won't lie, it's probably still a little too close for Ghost of Tsushima either way. Just a month after The Last of Us and everything, but personally, they do not want to have I think they don't want a big game coming out in August or anything like that,
Nope.
because that's when they're going to truly probably start smashing out full-on content for the PlayStation 5 and everything. It's great that they've got new dates and everything. I'm excited for both of these games when I get a PlayStation 4 again. I am looking forward to play them. I love Naughty Dog, even though they do have some crunch culture and everything like that, and they've been smashed about that. They've had criticism for that and everything. Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch, great developer. Can't say I haven't played a bad Sucker Punch game for me personally. All the Infamous games are at least a good game for me personally. I loved Infamous 2. I thought Infamous 2 was absolutely fantastic, and like I said, Last Sun, I thought was a very good game as well. There's no bad thing here that the date is coming out, that they've finally got release dates. It's just disappointing that with the irony of The Last of Us 2 getting its release date with what's happening, it does seem like they probably wanted to delay it more. I feel like they probably might have wanted it to drop with the PlayStation 4, maybe. Not the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, yeah. As a launch title for it, possibly. But they obviously, like PlayStation even came out and basically confirmed themselves by not even denying it, and with the developers of Naughty Dog coming out and saying it's been a crappy few days, that these leaks are real and everything, which sucks even more. I'm just happy to hear that what apparently is not a developer or disgruntled employee. It was apparently something else, which you can go and find out on Jason Snyder's Twitter. He's done all the research.
Jason
He's done
Sony put out a press release. Like, there's a whole thing. I fucking hated that because, like, I don't even know where that rumor started. Like, it was just like it was willed into existence, like, by the collective, like, social media. It was just like, all of a sudden it was like, well, it's a disgruntled employee who was pissed off with crunch culture. And it was like, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, guys.
Well, the thing is,
like, to do.
Yeah, I like Jason's, like, tweeted out and everything that, like, even he says that was all fault. That's completely fake in either way, because one, I think he said that if Naughty Dog, I don't think have really, because it says hundreds, so that's making like more than just 100s and everything. So they don't even have hundreds of employees, Naughty Dog, to furlough. That all of them are, none of them are on furlough.
No,
they're all getting paid because they're all still working. The contractors who they've contracted stuff out to are getting more pay because of the circumstances and everything. So everyone needs to stop crapping on Naughty Dog and PlayStation overall. Like, yeah, I can appreciate that people were annoyed that we aren't getting a lot of details from the PlayStation 5 and everything. They're seeming very silent. But Naughty Dog, apart from their culture, the people who work for them love working there, apparently. And I can't see why any of them would lie to Jason or anything like that, because they know
all of them.
Yeah. If it was maybe just
like,
yeah, all 20 plus, I think he says, have said it, they love working there. They don't like the crunch, which they apparently like Rockstar, which we talked about 2 weeks ago or something. They're in the process of possibly getting sorted and everything, but that's not going to happen until Last of Us 2 goes out. So,
well, it should be sorted now anyway, because the game's probably been complete for a little while. Like, apart from like polishing and stuff, so that should have been. If they're still crunching now, like, then I'd be like, well, hang on a minute. But it sucks. The leaks suck. I don't give it as much. I don't want to give it too much oxygen, because it's just a shit. It's just a shit situation for like everyone involved. Like, I didn't even know about it. I was explaining it to you, I think, when we were playing a game where I was like, a friend of mine tweeted out like last Sunday, like, well, shit, I've been spoiled, and like, I didn't know, like, she didn't mention like what the game was or what it was or what she'd been spoiled on. So I was like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, I just said that sucks and moved on. And then like 2 days later, I think it was, they started popping up where it was like, Last of Us has been leaked. I was like, oh shit. Like the whole thing, like chapters, and it's horrible. Yeah, hackers did it, which makes sense. They are fucking screwed though. If Sony says they've identified them, they are fucked.
Yeah, and they deserve everything that gets happened.
You just leaked the Sony's biggest game.
Yeah. But the only thing I want to say is that anybody who wants to be a dick and try and spoil it, you're scum of the earth. Don't do it. Don't be that person. Don't message anybody saying, I know this, Ellie does this or anything like that. I'm saying, we don't want to know. Don't do that, because you're just trying to be that person. You're not hard. You're not smart. You're just an idiot. And that's all I'm going to say on it.
Cool. I'm looking forward to The Last of Us. I'm looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see the adventure that we go on for all of these games.
Yeah. It with Ghost of Tsushima, it is a bit close to Last of Us Part 2, but I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said, like, it's they can't put it like the closer they put it to PlayStation 5, like the less they'll just be talking about PlayStation 5 while they're trying to sell this game. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is unfortunately been put between a rock and a hard place. It's got to come out after The Last of Us, but it can't come out too close to the PS5.
I'll still say, I don't know why they just haven't made that cross-platform and made it a launch title for the PlayStation 5.
They know you predicted it, so they were like,
I know, they basically, we don't want Moody to be right. No, but yeah, it seems like the right thing to do for me personally. But they've thrown out so many games that have been overall great games for a lot of people for the exclusives, that they've maybe put too many out. So hopefully spread them out properly next time. And if you need to push one to next gen, push it to next gen.
Too much.
Okay, well, come on now. If Nintendo could realize, we've got a great game here, but wouldn't it be better if we put it on our next gen console at the same time? Wait.
Wait, we can. I think what PlayStation are aiming to do is just like to have PS5 just be a completely fresh start. Like, Ghost of Tsushima looks amazing. It could well be like an amazing game, but it's also old news. Like, we've known about this game for years, and I don't think they want to be marketing PS5 with a game that was revealed like 2 or 3 years ago.
Why they shouldn't have revealed it?
I imagine it wasn't supposed to take this long. just a hunch. I don't think it was supposed to come out in 2020. Look at Days Gone. We spent years waiting for the reveal of that game. Like, the worst kept secret in the games industry, I think, at one point was that freaking Sony Bend were making an open world horror game. Like, and every year E3 came and it was like, are we going to see Sony Bend's thing? And then we didn't. And then the next PSX would come and we're like, we're going to see Sony Bend's thing. And then it didn't. And oh my God, that was frustrating. We know what it is. Where is it? Anyway, moving on.
Let's go and speak of some
Vikings. Assassin's Creed Valhalla confirmed as Vikings head to England. This is from Jordan Remy over at GameSpot. He writes, at the end of the livestream revealing the Viking setting of the next Assassin's Creed game, Ubisoft announced the game's official title, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A full trailer also released April 30th, showing off the new protagonist and some brutal combat. The game will come to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, and Stadia in holiday 2020. The Xbox versions will support the new Smart Delivery feature, giving Xbox One purchasers access to the Xbox Series X version as a free automatic upgrade when the console launches. Whew, I forgot. You know, when you go to the next gen and there's that crossover period where it's like they're coming out on so many different things. It's like, I forgot about that. I'm happy that's a thing again. As previously rumoured, Valhalla takes place during the Viking Age, occurring between the 9th and 11th centuries. The Viking Age occurs roughly 100 to 400 years prior to the events of the original Assassin's Creed. That could mean that this game will continue the origin stories of how the Hidden Ones and the Order of the Ancients went on to become the Assassin's Brotherhood and the Templar Order, respectively. A narrative first started in Origins and continued in Odyssey. Origins director Ashraf Ismail serves as creative director for Valhalla. Jordan. Shameful typo in your story there. The storyline will cap off some of the threads we've been dealing with in the series for years. As with Odyssey, you'll be able to play it as a man or woman, both named Eivor. In the artwork used to announce... I'm not going to read any of that. Moody. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Wasn't called Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, it's Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, and then they were like, it's Valhalla.
It's like, haha, wait,
They have a habit of doing that, because I remember Assassin's Creed Syndicate was supposed to be called something else, and everyone was like, it's Assassin's Creed this, and then they revealed it, and it was like, it's Syndicate, bitches.
Yeah, people they need to shut up about those type of things. Personally, I loved this. I thought the reveal was very intriguing, and I just loved it. It was just a new, unique way of doing it, revealing the guy, whoever that is.
Boss Logic.
Boss Logic. Thank you.
The artwork for it.
They did a 10 hour stream of him creating.
Hold on.
Yeah, how he created it, and it was just masterful work on Photoshop and everything. What he did was incredible, and I loved the design and everything. And then when we obviously got the minutes.
Sorry, it was 8 hours and 10 minutes.
No, that's all right. And then we got to the trailer the next day, and I thought, even though it's just a cinematic trailer and everything, I love cinematic trailers. They just get me hyped for it. I loved what the character looks like as a male. Looks really canny. Really like the setting and everything. Vikings going to England and everything. Maybe I wonder if we'll get some references to King Arthur. Maybe
Northumbria.
That'll be funny.
We're coming to Northumbria.
Hell yeah!
That was a big Viking thing. There's tons of stuff around here that's like named like Norse, has Viking themed names. It's great.
We are very Vikingish.
We're going to be in a video game.
Like us up here. Yeah. I'm excited for this. I love that you get to choose either to be a male or female and everything. I'm going to be a badass female character. Hopefully get a Mew Mew. I want Mew Mew. I want to be swinging Thor's hammer. Give me Thor's hammer. If you don't give me Thor's hammer... God. Yeah, but I don't care. They had Medusa in the last one. They can have a Medusa in the last one.
They might have a Thor in the game. I don't think
if he's Thor in it, he's gonna have a hammer. Right. So give me his hammer.
There's just as much chance that Thor is gonna be smashing your face in with it as like you using it to
if I have to kill him to get his hammer, that's fine.
You've got Avengers coming out later this year, right? That literally has Mew Mew, as you call it, in it. Yeah. I mean, I know we're all a bit cool on Avengers. No one really expects it to come out in September, but
they did show Avengers in the Summerfest trailer, which was awesome, by the way, as well.
They did, because it was only revealed last year. That wasn't. It was properly revealed last year. They announced it like 3 years ago. This was cool. I liked the live stream. Like, I watched it for a bit when it started, realized what it was. And I kind of had it on, just like in the background. So I was doing other shit. We were doing something. We were probably playing Apex at one point.
Yeah, I think so. I had it. We were going to play.
We were streaming. Out. We were going to play Moving Out, and we had the stream on while we were streaming. And it was fun. Like to just have in the background and look across and watch for like 10 minutes or so, because it was a really cool way to reveal like a game. Like I sent you the text message in the group chat joking, where it's like Ubisoft are doing a better job of experimenting with like talking to their players in 5 minutes than Sony have done in 18 months. Like, because this is more interesting than any state of play. But it was really cool. And then the trailer was okay. Like, I'm holding off on like thinking too much about it to like form like too many thoughts on it, because I know I'm going to see gameplay in like 5 days.
Yeah.
But Assassin's Creed games are cool. Odyssey was good. Origins was good. Syndicate was underrated. Like, they've been good games for a while now.
Yeah, they've knocked it out of the park, especially for the last two ones. For a lot of people, they've been very good sellers for them and everything. And them doing the right thing of being yearly, taking a year off all the time.
Yeah.
Even though Odyssey came after Origins, which was still a fantastic game. It's just because it was done, it was ready to go. They had it all ready, so they had to say, let's just throw it out.
It didn't suffer from being on a yearly release schedule like Assassin's Creed 3 or like Assassin's Creed Unity, where it's like those games suffered because they were like on that yearly release schedule. Like if it's ready to go, it's ready to go, and that's fine. Like release it, sure, but like take a year off if you need to. That's fine too. Like I'm sure Ubisoft would have loved to put out Valhalla last year if they could have, but it wasn't gonna happen.
But,
so they put it
yeah,
out.
but it's good. Like they know they take the time more than ever. Like the thing is, this generation's been really weird for Ubisoft because they've took a hit twice of learning the same lesson twice of maybe we should spread out and maybe take our time with our games and everything. So for some weird reason they learnt that lesson again last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
With Breaking Point and everything.
This is what's exciting. Breakpoint was a literal breakpoint for you, the way Ubisoft makes games, because it was just so generic and uninteresting. Like to play that game, it was like you could see like the Ghost Recon Foundation buried under so much crap, and it's like there were moments where it was like, this is a really fun Ghost Recon game, but there was too much where it was like, this is a Ubisoft game, and a Ghost Recon game isn't a Ubisoft game. Like, I know Wildlands sold a lot of copies, but that was also kind of a boring game. Like, especially if you weren't playing with friends, like there's. So I'm glad that Ubisoft are taking this new approach. Like, that's the exciting thing. Another exciting thing about going into this next generation, or at least going into like the rest of this year and beyond with Ubisoft, they're taking a different approach to how they make their games. Like, they're not just going to be releasing the same type of game over and over again. Like, that's cool. That's good. That's fun.
What I love even more is that Last of Us 2 is now going to release here, so that means I'm going to get some points. And then Assassin's Creed has finally been revealed, and I have that in the thing. So hopefully, if it will hit 2020, I'm going to hit some points later on the year as well.
See, we did the Fantasy Game League update, and everybody was like, "Oh, Amy, you're so far ahead." And I was like, "You guys aren't paying attention to Moody's team. Look at the rest of the games on Moody's list."
I've got some juicy ones, yeah.
Assassin's Creed 2020, The Last of Us Part 2. Like, I gotta be careful and maintain this lead. Like, a couple of wrong moves by me, and you've got me. You're reeling me in. Like, I can see it.
And I think the thing is, it could go either way. But my surprise package is literally, I think, it'll be Avengers for me. If they pull off and show off some good content for us for whenever they show it during this Summerfest, I could be like, oh, like that, you know. If I'm hearing nothing but overall great things, because it's been mostly negative when it comes to the Avengers game. Everyone's like, the characters don't look like the people from the films. Most expensive game ever there, ladies and gentlemen. If that was ever going to happen, shut up. They would never make a profit. Ever.
I've played it for 30 minutes. Just to quickly talk about Avengers, because why the fuck not? We've got time. I played it for 30 minutes. What I played was fun. But it depends on how the gameplay is set up. If it's just Destiny, or like Destiny type gameplay, like, I think it could get old quite fast. Because no matter, like, take Thor for example, right? Like, you can get all the upgrades and equipment and whatever for Thor that you want, but he's still gonna be Thor. He's still gonna have a hammer, and he's still gonna throw it, and he's still gonna smash people in. It's like, for all the ways that you can grind out missions or play missions over and over again to like augment the characters, they're still iconic, and you can't really change how they play. So I don't know. That's my concern with Avengers. The game itself was fun enough to play for half an hour. I played the prologue.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Black Widow was the most fun character of the 5. Go figure.
Sounds about right.
And Cap with his shield. Just throw the mighty shield all over the place. Yeah.
But
Anyway.
back to Assassin's Creed.
I would just move on. I think we've.
Oh, let's segue into Midgard.
Let's segue into Midgard. From Midgard to Midgard. Because that's the thing, right? Midgard was Vikings. Midgard is Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah, I just clicked there. My brain was not firing on all cylinders there.
It's fine, I got you. Final Fantasy VII Remake producer wants to keep developing small chunks at a fast pace. This is from Matt Perslow over at IGN. He writes, Final Fantasy VII Remake's co-director Tetsuya Nomura has said that he would like to deliver the next part of Final Fantasy VII Remake story quickly, and to do so would require focusing on a smaller portion of the overall plot. The quote comes from an interview in Final Fantasy VII Remake Ultimania, a guide and lore book now available in Japan. The quotes were shared online by Twitter account Aibo and translated by IGN Japan, and includes this snippet from producer Yoshinori Kitase and co-director Nomura. When asked about how many parts the remake will comprise of, Kitase said, quote, "We have a rough idea on that, but it's not completely decided yet. It's impossible to talk about this right now. It seems that many people think it will be a trilogy," end quote. And then Nomura said, quote, "It all depends on how many parts we make. If we separate it into bigger chunks, it will take more time. But if we take smaller portions, it can be done on a shorter span. Personally, I would like to deliver it faster," end quote. By smaller portions, it seems that Nomura is suggesting that, like the first game in the series, subsequent games will focus on parts of the storyline that take just a few hours to play out. Taking into consideration Final Fantasy VII's very varied world and its multitude of styles from area to area, it's easy to see how focusing on a smaller portion would help speed up production. To cover the remaining plot of the original game in a trilogy format, including weaving in new narrative changes and expanded areas akin to the first game, would mean two further massive games that would arguably need to be much larger than the first. As Kitase points out, the final number of games has yet to be decided, but Nomura's comments about preferring to take smaller chunks suggest that this project could be larger than just 3 games. You haven't played Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nope.
So the context of that is probably all lost on you.
Thing is, I always thought it would probably be made into a trilogy.
Like it would.
For this type of thing, if they're going to do it like in smaller portions, then for me that's kind of screams out: are they going to do like giant DLC for it? Or
that would
like
be
that
my hope. My hope would be that if they're going to do smaller chunks, they're going to do expansion
packs. Yeah, small expansion packs or something like that to add on. But I don't know how would people go along with that, because you got to think about small and expansion packs. You got to think it's going to be a minimum of about 30 quid.
Yeah.
So if they're like, for how many? It sounds like they may be going for like maybe 4 or 5 or 6, 7 smaller expansion packs. That's a lot of dough to throw out.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like they've adapted Midgard, the storyline that was like the first 5 to 6 hours of the game. Like most other locations in the game, you're not in them for that long. Like if they're talking about expanding, like each location of the game, like because the story sort of follows along to the places that you go. That's how Final Fantasy VII works. You go from Midgard to Calm, and then to the Chocobo Farm, and then to Juno, and then across the, you know what I mean? And like that's how the story works. Like if they're gonna expand it that big, like I'm out, because that's gonna be like 50 fucking games. Like, but like I always assumed it would be a trilogy. I always assumed that this was the big expansion part of it, and then like they could expand on the rest of the game, like as they go. But nothing needs to be anywhere close. Like no one place needs to be as close to being as big as Midgard was in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I always thought they would end number 2 on the big thing. The thing, the thing that the people who know Final Fantasy VII, the thing that everyone knows that broke people who love Final Fantasy VII. She's still not over it, ladies and gentlemen. And then go on to obviously the finale and everything. But
well, the thing is, there's not. Final Fantasy VII's weird in that Disc 1 ends with the thing, and then in Disc 2 and Disc 3, like the story's front loaded, So I feel like disc 2 and disc 3 are about the same length as disc 1. So I always felt like you would end chapter 2 on the thing, and then the rest of the story would be the final part of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy.
Yeah.
But if they're talking about like putting out like loads of different games, it's like this could get really messy really quickly. Like in terms of just take a couple of years to just make something.
Yeah.
Like something substantial. Release it as a full price game. I don't give a shit. But when you start like, and here's the next portion of the game for like what like 10 like I feel like I need more information on what he's actually saying when he's saying he wants to deliver smaller chunks.
That's the thing about it. Square Enix have been very quiet on this thing right now. I don't even know. Do they actually know themselves what they're going to do? Because it makes sounds like what he's saying that they don't really know themselves. Because he says he wants to do maybe small parts to get them out quicker, but the other people might want to do make it 3 games, 3 big games and everything. Obviously, Ed on that thing on number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like it seems like they're very unsure of themselves. For all we know, because of behind the scenes, everything, they all know what they're going to do and everything, and they're just not ready to talk about it, which would be weird for me personally. I feel like, maybe they talk about it in the. Maybe there's a thing for the next 4 months. They might start talking about it. Who knows?
No, maybe.
There's a certain Jeff Keighley. I'm sure you might want to talk about something, but
I mean,
who knows?
Development on the next part obviously started. Easily, but yeah, it's. I don't know. It depends on what small chunks mean. It sounds like they scoped the game, and they know what they're doing. It's just they don't know where the dividing lines are for the rest of the game series, trilogy, whatever. Like, so it's like it's worrying that they haven't figured that out yet. But at the same time, it's like. Yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake was so strong, and it's like this could easily go wrong. So it's like this could so easily go wrong, like and blow up in their faces if they make a mistake. By the end of this, I wonder if Square Enix are going to really regret doing a Final Fantasy VII Remake.
But the overall, what I hear, Final Fantasy VII Remake has been nothing but a success.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Tremendous game. I love it. Like, it's got its flaws, but it was such a really great experience.
Yeah.
It's the future that I'm both excited for but also nervous for. Like, I'm excited for it because I want to play it, but I'm nervous for it because Square Enix aren't making me feel positive about the future right now.
Yeah. You're kind of in that space with going off as a movie analogy with Star Wars. Like, we're excited for what they're going to do next, but we're also like, you've had a lot of backlash, and I didn't really like the last one and everything, even though I really enjoyed the one before that and everything. Come on, like, it's kind of like that. We love the property, but we're very nervous about it as well.
Wow.
The thing is, that's the thing about it when it comes to remakes. Like, go to Capcom. Successful Resident Evil 2, where it was overall lauded and praised for a lot of people. Resident Evil 3, even though it has been a huge success for them, very mixed for a lot of people. Yeah, financial success.
It's a mixed reception.
Yeah.
And then
I'm more positive on the game. I'm more positive on 3 than you are.
Yeah. And then they've announced Remake 4, and everyone's kind of going, do we really need this one remade?
It doesn't bother me.
Do we really need this one remade? But they're like, money.
I'm not going to get into that because I'll be like, Jesus, he'll go off into another tangent.
Let's just go on to the next news story. Introducing Play for All, GameSpot's Summer Gaming Celebration and Charity Effort. This is from Timur Hussein over at GameSpot. Ironically. That's not the word I was trying to think of, but I lost the word I was trying to think of, and I had to think of a word to replace it. I still can't think of the word. Beginning in early June and spanning several weeks, Play for All will be the premier destination for gamers worldwide to get up-to-date information on the most exciting announcements. We're partnering with major video game publishers including Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, Deep Silver, Devolver Digital, Larian Studios, Google Stadia, Bandai Namco, Private Division, Square Enix, Sega, and 2K Games, among many others, to bring you the latest and greatest in gaming. On top of that, we're teaming up with Direct Relief, a humanitarian aid organization whose mission is to improve the health and lives of the world's most vulnerable and at-risk populations, many of which are affected by poverty and emergencies. As well as celebrating video games together, we'll also be raising funds for healthcare workers battling the global pandemic. Play for All will feature over 100 hours of live and on-demand programming streamed on GameSpot, as well as our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter platforms. And collaborating with GameSpot team's charity efforts will be friends from across the industry, including the Giant Bomb team, Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, NoClip's Danny O'Dwyer, and many more that we'll be announcing over the coming days and weeks. Do I need to read the rest of this? I guess I need to read that. Throughout the summer, you'll be able to engage with the GameSpot team and our friends from across the industry in a series of live events, including Let's Plays, gameplay marathons, gaming challenges, and interviews with special guests. Through these, you'll be able to enjoy hours of fun gaming content, and for those who can, head over to GameSpot's Direct Relief team page to make donations that will provide vital support and materials to healthcare workers treating COVID-19 patients. That's a long list of developers and publishers who have signed up for this. If you head on over to GameSpot, you'll be able to find it in the header. I suggest you check it out. I'm not going to take the time to read every single person that's signed up. More gaming stuff.
More gaming indeed. Go on.
IGN, GameSpot, GamesRadar have all now jumped in and been like, hey, we do something this summer. You in? You in? You in? And everyone's gone, yeah, we're in.
Well, like GameSpot are voice thinking, okay, everyone else is doing this, so we kind of got to do something, can't we? I don't mean that in a bad way, because this is fantastic. Helping each other out, working together with the game developers, publishing, showing off games in whatever way they can. Another thing, they're doing it for charity, which is another fantastic thing as well. Well done to GameSpot. I can't say anything bad about this. It's fantastic. You've got a great lineup there. You've got obviously people like Greg Miller, who is a very well received person overall, and you've got Daniel O'Dwyer, who was a GameSpot guy. He was there. He worked with the team and everything. He left, and he's gone on to be incredibly successful with his own thing. No clips for the gaming documentaries. Can't ask for much more. Personally, this is fantastic. All coming together to help each other out. That's all that's important. And you get to see games.
Yeah.
What? Can't ask for much more. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and we'll get a bunch of exciting announcements and up-to-date information from a bunch of developers. It's all good. It's all good. Who needs E3, Moody? And this is the problem. This was the problem I mentioned when the ESA cancelled E3. Like, if we get through this summer and everyone just goes, "Wow, we didn't even miss E3." Yeah, but yeah, this is cool. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to just having like games 24/7.
Yeah,
like, all around me on all these monitors, just being like, "Oh, cool, this is happening. Oh shit, this is happening. Oh, trailer for this. Oh my god, they just announced this." Like I've gone from being like bracing myself to a tough summer as far as like games goes, to now being like, I'm excited because this summer's gonna be kind of cool, like for all the different game stuff. And again, I'm just talking games specifically. The world just sucks. I know that. Like, I know that, but the games are gonna be good, and all the gaming related stuff. And speaking of cool gaming related stuff, Moody, Reggie Fils-Aimé has launched a gaming podcast. Games are saved.
All hail Reggie.
All hail Reggie. This is from Jordan Alleman over at IGN, who writes, former president of Nintendo America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, has launched a gaming podcast alongside journalist Harold Goldberg, with donations helping to bring mentorship and technology to disadvantaged youth in New York City. Talking Games with Reggie and Harold is a 7-episode podcast featuring Reggie and Goldberg, the latter of whom is the founder of the New York Video Game Critics Circle, a non-profit organization that mentors those less fortunate in journalism and game development. You can learn more about what the NYVGCC does over on its website. According to the Washington Post, the first guest on Talking Games will be Jeff Keighley, head honcho of the Game Awards. As for Fils-Aimé's intentions with the podcast, he told the Post, quote, "Our vision is to create a fun, entertaining, informative podcast with its goal to benefit the non-profit," end quote. That'll do. I wonder what Jeff Keighley is going to talk about on his on this Reggie Fils-Aimé podcast.
If only he wasn't doing anything.
do you think he's going to convince Reggie to help to do something at the Summer Games Fest?
Do you don't think he hasn't already?
Yeah. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Reggie ain't doing much these days. He's like,
well, he is on the GameStop board of directors.
So, like I say, he's not doing much these days.
I think I read somewhere that he's teaching, or he was a teacher or something, or a lecturer at a university. I want to look that up now. This is cool. I like Reggie Fils-Aimé. I think he's cool.
He's one of the nicest guy out there. Everyone says and everything like that. He's just so enthusiastic. He just comes across when it comes to like what we've always talked about. You can see suit people. Like people that just like, you're just a suit person. You don't speak for me. You aren't speaking about for the games I care about. You're just literally thinking of a dollar sign. Even though he always wore a fabulous snapping suit and looked amazing in it all the time, the man always literally came across of, he's one of us. He's speaking to me, and he's doing it in a great way. And he's always just coming across as pushing the games in fabulous ways. And he's always just doing great things.
Well, this was the cool change that we kind of saw in the past sort of 5, 6, 7 years with like the big three platform holders. Was they kind of ditched the Don Matrix and the people who were talking like they were in an investors meeting when they were doing presentations that were going to be seen by journalists and the public. And we got people like Reggie and people like Phil Spencer, Sean Layden, Tataru Iwata, rest in peace. Like that, it's such a better way for them to present stuff, like big conferences.
Yeah.
And Reggie was a big part of that. Like some of the Nintendo stuff, like I've got some very fond memories of like some of the stuff Nintendo did when Reggie was around there, like the Muppets when they did the Nintendo Direct where they turned everyone into Muppets. Fucking genius. Absolutely genius.
Like, it was. You gotta make it fun for us, and they did that.
Yeah. He is a leader in residence at Cornell University.
Awesome.
Which is in Ithaca, New York.
So where he lives, so he's all right.
I knew I'd read he did something at a university. Mm-hmm. I'll be listening to the shit out of this podcast, though.
Yeah, does it have a date when it starts?
It's not in here, but I imagine it. I know Jeff.
If they're talking about it, it's gotta be coming soon. And if Jeff Keighley's the first person they're talking to, you gotta think it's gotta be coming really soon. The first episode.
I know it's not been recorded yet, because I know Jeff Keighley last week was saying that he hadn't, like, they obviously hadn't done it yet.
Yeah.
I don't know when the first episode is.
I'm sure if you all follow him on Twitter, we'll find out soon, ladies and gentlemen.
We all should be doing, anyway.
No, that's true. I might be doing that right now.
Followed him for years. He was one of the first people I followed when I got Twitter. One of our first guests, Jeff Keighley, and then the frickin' Washington Post is on a paywall. Thanks. No thanks, I'm not going to sign up for an account.
His Twitter is at Reggie, I believe.
At Reggie, yeah.
There we go. I am now following the man.
Good man. Let's move on to games out this week. Made a little change to games out this week. Me throwing out random game titles like is only really helpful if you know what the game is. So I've added some of the short Steam descriptions to each of the games, which is fine now because there's not that many. But ask me again if I think this is a good idea in like October, when it takes me 20 minutes to get through every section of games out this week, and I might have a different answer for you.
That's going to be my toilet break.
Like, okay, so I'll be back.
See you later, guys. I'll be back.
Cool. So on May 5th, we've got Whittemore Tactics Club coming to PC. Whittemore Tactics Club is a story about surviving high school with gameplay inspired by tactics RPGs and visual novels. Also on May 5th, Someday You'll Return on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Someday You'll Return is a story-driven psychological horror game about a desperate search for a missing daughter deep in the woods where you swore you'd never return, brought to you by the creative duo behind Julia Among the Stars. And lastly on May 5th, you've also got John Wick Hex coming to PS4. John Wick Hex is a fast-paced, action-oriented strategy game that makes you think and strike like John Wick, the professional hitman of the critically acclaimed film franchise. On May 7th, we've got Void Bastards coming to PS4 and Switch. That's still a fantastic name for a game. Inspired by Bioshock and System Shock 2, Void Bastards is a revolutionary new strategy shooter that will test your wits as well as exercise your aim. Can you lead the misfit prisoners of the Void Ark through the derelict spaceships and myriad dangers of the Sargasso Nebula? And lastly, also on May 7th, we've got Wavy the Rocket coming to PC. Play as Wavy the Rocket as he tries to stop the moon from being destroyed by an evil corporation that removes fizz from soda. A precision side-scroller like no other, it's handcrafted and set to some seriously funky hip-hop. Boom.
Funky.
What's that from? Funky. No, it's funky. Green Wing. Took me a minute. I say things, I make references, but it's like, where were those references from? I don't even know. Sometimes they're from things I've never seen because I just see memes on Twitter. That was me with The Office until I'd watched The Office. I knew all The Office memes because they're everywhere.
Watched the show.
But I watched the show because I was like, fine, that's one meme too many. I watched The Office. Anyway, let's play Guess the Score. Sort of. Most weeks, myself and Moody will sit down and we will attempt to guess the OpenCritic average of a game that is coming out over the course of the next week. Whoever gets closest to the OpenCritic average gets a point. If you guess the score dead on, you get 2 points. Last week, the game we decided to do this with was Gears Tactics. I guessed that it would get an 81. Moody guessed that it would get an 80. And at the time of recording, Gears Tactics has an 82. It was close. It was 81 for a while. I was close.
For the longest while, yeah. I don't think it changed until like Friday.
No, it was like right at the end. It went up. Again, which is like, thanks, Gamescast. Couldn't do me this one solid and just keep it at 81. I don't even have it in my fantasy game league team. Because Keith stole it from me. But, yeah, I wasn't that bothered because, like, we both tried, as if you watched this segment last week, we both tried to guess 80, and I graciously decided to change my score to one higher. So when it was like, oh, it's moved from 81 to 82, I was like, yeah, well, you know. I was wrong either way because I did technically guess 81. But that leaves the current scores at Amy 6, Moody 7. Still a long way to go. I guess closest on Dreams, Warcraft 3 Reforged, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, and Gears Tactics. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, and you guessed the score correctly for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, so you got double points for it. We've guessed the same amount of games correctly. You're a bastard because you got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon spot on, so you got the extra point for it. Like fucking Pokemon!
I gotta catch 'em all.
My only saving grace is that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is giving you negative points in Fantasy Game League. So I can't be too pissed off about it. This week we haven't got a game. I was explaining this to Moody at the beginning of the thing. The two games that I was eyeing up to actually do this for, because John Wick Hex and Void Bastards are both re-release ports, so they already have OpenCritic scores. I am playing them, and I am embargoed on them, and it becomes a bit iffy if about that embargo if I'm guessing what their review score is going to be when I'm like sitting on having played the game and B like currently working on reviews for the game that I'm not allowed to talk about. So if the game industry released more games this week, this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, it still released more games than 3 weeks ago. So
I mean, yeah, the last few weeks have been nuts. So I'm happy for the break. Like I was telling you, I'm trying to take a week off this week. There is one thing we could do, and it's just come to me. Because a game that came out last week currently still doesn't have an OpenCritic average because a lot of places are doing reviews in progress at the moment. We could take a punt on guessing the OpenCritic average of Legends of Runeterra and seeing if it comes back with a score next week.
Why not?
Keep the game going.
Why not?
We've both played it. So.
We've both played it, yeah. We've both played it. I played it a couple of days ago. You've played more than me, there's no doubt about it. But,
100%. I played it all of Saturday, I think. So we'll guess the OpenCritic average of Legends of Runeterra. As always, Moody, I like to let you go first.
Okay, I have to do some research.
Sorry, I know I kind of sprung this on you. I was on OpenCritic, and I just kind of saw it, and I was like, hang on a minute, we've got the opportunity here. Fun fact about Legends of Runeterra: I tried to get it in my fantasy game league team when we were doing all those bids, but our league is set up where you can't get free to play games.
Oh shit!
Like, fuck.
No. Okay, Legends of Runeterra. I'm trying to think of card games that are out there.
Hearthstone, Magic: The Gathering, Arena. I don't know if that will actually have a review score or not. I typed in Magic: The Gathering Arena in OpenCritic and it changed it to Missplosion, man.
I typed in Hearthstone and then it switched to Heart and Slash, apparently.
I remember that game.
Let's have a look. Hearthstone.
Basically, what we're learning here is OpenCritic needs to fix its
needs to fix itself a little bit. Okay,
search engine.
Okay, I am ready to have a crack at this. I think Legends of Runeterra will get a average score of 75.
All right. We don't have the same problem we had last week.
No. That's all right then.
86.
86. Ooh.
I know it's backwards for everybody watching at home. I haven't been able to fix Discord since they did the update. I'm just as pissed off as everybody else. Cool. So we'll lock those in. If it gets a score, it gets a score. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Fills the gap in quite nicely, though.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, we've got time.
We always have time. Have you all been enjoying watching Assassin's Creed 3?
I've got to be honest, I've been trying to avoid the eye line of looking at Assassin's Creed 3. For starters, it brings back painful memories of actually playing Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I agree there with that. I agree with you there and everything like that. Have you enjoyed looking at Pugsy at the top there? My little pug.
Oh, yeah. Hello, little pug. You're doing some work on your background again.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of a mess at the bottom. If I move my head,
just keep your head in the way. Like nobody
keep
needs
my head
to know.
there.
It's like if I get out of the way, you can see all my clothes. It's like no. I'll just stay in front of those.
You see,
look at the controllers. Look at the controllers. Ignore this. Ignore this bit.
Yeah.
Look at the nice figurines.
Funko Pops and the Funko Pops and everything. I need to get a light there so you can see the ships.
You keep saying that.
I need to get that sorted.
And you do need to get that light set up because it's a cool light. Oh man, it's been such a crazy week for games coming out. We talked about it last week and the week before, with all the different games that are coming out and how hard it is to keep up. I had to make some tough choices about what I was going to play. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I wasn't helped, as I was talking to you before the show started. I wasn't helped by the fact that every game I played was really good, and I want to keep playing it. So normally how it works is, I pick a game, and I play it, and then I do my impressions video of it, and then, I might finish it, I might not. It depends on the game.
Yeah.
But normally, say in a heavy week, where I'm playing 3 or 4 games a week, maybe one game might jump out, and I'll be like, cool. Once I've finished all my videos, I'll come back to it and I'll play it until the next game. So on and so forth. That's how I finished Final Fantasy VII. Whatever else I finished recently. Doom Eternal, I finished that. Resident Evil 3, I did that in one setting. That doesn't count. But yeah, so I had to make some tough choices. I got a code for Streets of Rage 4. So I was like, I have to cover that. I got codes for these indie games, so I was like, cool, I have to cover that. And I was like, cool, I've got space for 2 games. Now the issue with having space for those 2 games is there's 5 new games on my list. And I was like, all right, great. Well, I've got to make some decisions here. So I took Trials of Mana and I took Sakura Wars, which are 2 big JRPGs, and I put them in their own little category. And I was like, cool, I'll pick one of these. Trials of Mana literally came out first and arrived here first, so I was like, that's the one. it was just that one came first. Cool, that's cool. So I've got Sakura Wars. I don't even know if I'm going to open it. And then on the other side, it was like, cool. So I got Moving Out, which was gonna be the game, but then it didn't have online co-op, so I was like, that's not gonna be the game. Just push that to one side. So it's down to Gears Tactics and Legends of Runeterra, and that was a tough call. I was like, I know I'm only gonna get to one of them. I might get to the other one later in the year, but I never like to bank on coming back to games because I always have the best intentions of it, but I never seem to do it very often.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I play Gears Tactics or do I play Legends of Runeterra? Whew. I mean, luckily I'm really enjoying Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah.
But there is that kind of FOMO of being like, but I'm not playing Gears Tactics.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, isn't it, I believe, on PC.
It's on Game Pass
so
on PC.
I need to get that installed so I can play it, give it a try. I hope my PC can handle it.
It should be okay. I mean, imagine there's like good low graphic options. Settings
right now.
But yeah, it's like that's why I was looking at this week and I was like, oh, I could squeeze Gears Tactics in towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I'm fucking knackered. It's been like 3 weeks of like just being like solidly busy doing like YouTube and Twitch. And I want a break. So I'm taking a break.
Fair.
I'm just going to play whatever. Finish Trials.
Are you enjoying Trials? Because I know you were a bit iffy on it.
I was, yeah. Like, I'm going to put my review video out. There's some stuff that isn't great about the game, but it's a fun game to play. So I want to keep playing it. Whether I finish it or not, I might just run out of steam. Like,
yeah.
I've become very responsible with the way I play games. Where when I used to review them, it used to be hell because I used to have to try and finish all the games that I was trying to review.
Yeah.
And then I switched to impressions and started being very selective. Well, actually, at first I switched to impressions and I stopped finishing games altogether. Like I went from one extreme to the other extreme, which wasn't helpful either. But then I've come to like this nice balance where it's like I'll play a game, and if I'm not if I stop digging it, I'll just stop playing it. Like Bloodstained was a great game. I played that last year. And I was fucking loving it for about 15 hours. And then I got to this one part of the game, and I was like, I'm not really enjoying this. And I just put it down and walked away. Like, played something else.
I would never try and force myself in everything. So
it's horrible.
The annoying thing is, yeah,
it's so horrible to try and force yourself to finish a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously when I was doing like full reviews of games, I've done it so many times. Like I'm doing this Mass Effect Andromeda video and I'm trying to force myself through as much of the game as possible because at this point I'm just like, the main story of this game is really cool and all the side stuff is really not. Like it's like I'm trying to push myself through as hard as possible.
Yeah, they did put too much side stuff in there for that game. They should have just kept it kind of like Mass Effect 2, where you had loyal missions with your characters, which are because when you get to go and know your characters, the characters are really, really kind of. I loved Cora by the end of it.
Oh yeah, like
on the game,
the main missions are cool. And I know I'm like kind of spoiling a 5,000 word video I'm currently working on, but the main missions are cool, and the character, the loyalty missions, they're pretty cool, and there's some side stuff that's really good. Like there's the movie night, which is a shit quest that lasts way too long, but the payoff at the end is one of the best scenes in the game.
Pretty funny, yeah.
But then it's like there's all this other stuff in it, and it's like I kind of just have to start ignoring stuff because it's like it's just sucking my soul out. Like trying to get planet viability up and solve these freaking alien Sudoku puzzles, and oh my god. Looking for Ryder's Lost Memories, which again is another side quest, which is fucking terrible. But the payoff of like the scenes that you get are really good, and it's like that's so fucking annoying that you've set all this cool stuff behind terrible fucking gameplay.
Like, it is disappointing on those parts and everything like that. But like both you and me are very overall actually enjoy Andromeda. I know we've all talked about multiple times, but like, it got bashed like crazy, which some of it is definitely deserved. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, it's a overall good game.
100%. Like I said it at the time, it was like the last game he sent me, so I got to kind of play it before everything came out during that sort of few week period. To actually have the time to played it, thought, hey, this is actually pretty decent. It's buggy as shit, but like you get through the bugs and it's like it's actually a pretty good game. People compared it to Mass Effect 2 and 3, which is a bit unfair because it was kind of a clean slate. Like the most apt comparison would have been Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it is better than Mass Effect 1. Like, at the end of the day, that's my opinion, though. But after that, it's The Last of Us, because that won the Twitter poll. And I kind of wish it didn't now, with everything that's going on with the leaks and whatnot. Nobody's going to watch a Last of Us video. But hey ho. It won.
Hey ho. Hey ho.
It won. But it won by a few votes. So like, if it was close, I might have the moral authority to go, well, I'll do Final Fantasy instead because of everything that's going on. But it's a bit... the gap was a bit wide.
That's
I'm looking forward to it. I love Last of Us. I haven't played it since 2014, when the remastered version came out. So it's like 6 years ago. And I never played Left Behind, which I have now. The DLC. It came with the version that was on sale on the PSN store.
Awesome.
So I get to play that for the first time. I already know what happens because it's 6-year-old, but... You still playing Star Trek Online?
Yeah, in and out of it, because I think I'm really hitting. I think I've smashed it so much. I'm like, okay,
come on, for now.
I kind of need to play something else now and everything. So yeah, I've switched over to I played a bit of Legends of Runeterra. I keep going back to I play every 2 days, like a race on F1 and everything, which I'm getting excited for. The new game that comes out in mid-July, I think, if it is, remember rightly, which I'm aiming to actually get a wheel for. I'm actually going to try and play it with a wheel for the first time. I've never done that, so I'm excited for that, but that won't be until the new game.
Nice.
What else? Like I say, in and out. Like I say, I played. Actually, I've got games on my PC. Two Point Hospital. I go back to that sometimes. I got Motorsport Manager, enjoying that, going in and out. Like I say, I just like I put her on for an hour or so,
all right,
and then I go back to it either you text me or Keith texts me saying I text you Apex, and we're just like we Apex it for 2, 3, maybe 4 hours sometimes. So
yeah, that's how I do it. I focus down stuff on games. The only game I don't do that with is Animal Crossing, but that's just because sometimes I'll go in and I'll just do what I need to do in a day, which is 20, 30 minutes.
I really need to get back to that game.
For the most part, it is kind of I don't play a game unless I've got a solid chunk of time to sit down and play it. So that's when I get if I've only got an hour or something, or half an hour or something, I'll just watch something. Or listen to something, or read something, rather than play a game. Whereas with gaming, it's I kind of like to sit down and just be in it, for a few hours. Which is probably why I don't finish that many games. Yeah.
But great, a lot of games coming out. Can't wait.
Yeah,
next week's gonna be exciting. I think, like I said, it's a perfect time for you to take a break and everything like that, because next week it's just gonna be everything exciting. You and me, we're gonna watch it and chat the Xbox event when it comes out at 4 p.m. for us on Thursday, I believe.
Thursday, May 7th.
Yeah, so we're excited. It's gonna be a heck of a time. I can't wait.
I'm really excited to watch it. And then whatever else happens in May, I'm just as excited for Tuesday as I am for for Thursday because like it'll be cool to see the schedule, and I imagine a lot of the schedule will be shrouded in mystery, but
hell yeah,
that's the fun of it, right? Like
yeah,
can't
wait.
And he's got everyone on board. Like of the big hitters, he's only missing
Yeah.
Nintendo. And I have a feeling he's only missing Nintendo because they don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, that was a surprise. It wasn't in the notes or anything like that, but like I say, I don't know if it's been come out and they've confirmed it or anything like that, but I know like the big sites have now talked about it, that the rumor is they aren't going to do an event in the summer.
Yeah, they're not going to do a direct in June, not necessarily in the summer, just in June.
Yeah.
Might come out later in the summer. It's like, I'm not frothing at the mouth for a direct. I mean, don't get me wrong. No, I mean I love all this stuff. Like, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll just keep myself going with like the games that I've got.
What else is coming? Yeah, definitely.
I have a lot of them. Like there are still games coming out. Like Mania is coming out. Shock PG. Minecraft Dungeons. The Last of Us Part 2, Fairy Tale. I need to watch the anime for that if I'm going to play the game. Trackmania, Deadly Premonition 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Destroy All Humans finally got a release date. I'm not going to play it, but that's in Russell's Fantasy League, so I'm happy he's got another release date.
And we got Commander Conqueror coming out.
And he's got Commander Conqueror coming out, which I'm not going to play either. But
oh, I used to love that game. If my PC will run it, I will give it a try because I loved that game growing up.
I imagine it would. I used to like Command and Conquer. Like I used to play it a lot, but
yeah, I've had an urge for that type of thing because I'm hoping one day Activision will actually do that with the Armada games, the Star Trek Armada games. I loved the Star Trek Armada 1 and 2. I thought they were so good.
Bridge Crew was my Star Trek jam.
It was all right for me. I didn't really click on it that much.
But it was the VR part. It was just like, oh my god, this is fucking dumb. Oh my god, I'm sitting here like pushing the buttons and arguing with...
Oh shit, yeah, that's the VR one. Yeah, shit, yeah. So which one am I?
I own it on 2 platforms, PlayStation and PC. Oh. Bridge Commander.
Doesn't yell at me.
Well,
that's it, yeah.
I got rid of my PSVR for the Oculus.
The superior one, no offense to PSVR. Because it is.
I mean, the PSVR is definitely more comfortable. Like I had to get some old. I had to get when I was playing Half-Life Alyx. I had, which is another game I need to go back and finish. I had a really big problem with like that headset. Unlike the PSVR and the Vive, I can wear my glasses when I'm playing on those. But with the Oculus, like I can't. Like it pushes like the bridge of my glasses into my nose. So I had to get an old pair of glasses, pop the lenses out, and I've literally taped 2 glasses lenses to the lenses in the Oculus Rift, so I can wear it and actually see without like breaking my nose. Yeah. So it's like I kind of miss the PSVR, but also like Half-Life.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to play Half-Life, yeah.
And like the controllers, the Oculus Rift controllers are so much better than the PSVR Move controllers. Like, I just if PSVR 2 has better controllers, like I'm all in on that because
they're gonna have something pretty close to them, I think.
Because it's like it's got the finger tracking, not the full finger tracking, just the one and the fist, so you can make a fist or you can point.
Well, I think deep down for everyone who's a PSVR guy or woman or anything like that, is they all just want a new a new controller for the thing because, like I said, it's 2 generations old.
The Move controllers weren't designed for VR and they're not very good. Combined with the camera that also wasn't necessarily designed for VR. It was kind of like PlayStation just making VR work with what they had.
Yeah.
The rumor I've heard is that there's going to be no camera. Like no external camera because the tracking is going to be on the headset, so it's going to be like the Oculus Quest, where there's going to be cameras in the headset that'll see the controllers in your hands.
Yeah.
Which means it might be wireless as well.
That'll be awesome. I think because Oculus have thrown out a wireless one, I think basically they've had no. Not that they have had no choice to, but I think they would have had a lot of people going, well, but there's a wireless one out there now, and everything like that.
I think it's where VR needs to go next to step up to the next level. Like right now, it's a really cool niche product, and everyone who owns one loves it. But like to step up to that, like to get that next level of people buying it, it needs to be wireless, because it is a bit disconcerting to be like playing VR and you have to be tied to the cameras and you have to be in the play area and you have to have these big fucking wires coming out of you and you're like spinning around and you can feel the wire flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some fucking great VR games though.
Yeah,
you haven't lived until you played Super Hot in VR, Moody. Dodging bullets, slow motion. Punch a guy, grab their gun in midair, smash him in the head with it, shoot the other guy, boom, done. Super hot. It's like being in the Matrix. It's like being in the Matrix.
That's fair.
I only crawled into a door once when we were doing the charity stream. I don't know if you saw that part of the charity stream. The last one we did where we did VR, we had the VR room, and I was behind cover, and I was like, a guy dropped his gun in it, but it was like over there. So I was like, I need to stay down. And I was like, looking, okay, like I've got an opening. And I was like, trying to reach it. And I was trying to reach it. And then all you saw on the stream was just kaboom. And it's like the door started vibrating. I just went, fuck. I just crawled straight into this glass door.
Sorry.
Dangers of VR.
Yeah, well, it has to go wireless, so let's do this.
I punched Russell's monitor once.
Oh god!
I didn't break it or anything. I just fucking jabbed it. Bang! Like moved the headset up, and it was like doing that thing where it was like wobbling. Yeah, he wasn't impressed.
I won't lie, I wouldn't have been either. So I would be like, "Hey, I'm very protective of my technology."
Me too, usually, but in VR, you just lose it. You just lose all sense of the world around you, and you're just in it. It's incredibly immersive, almost too immersive sometimes. Half-Life Alyx and Headcrabs are just like the worst experience. When one of those things jumps for your face, it's horrible. It's horrible. You saw the Twitter clip I put out. Just absolute.
Yes, I did.
Absolute panic.
It was pretty funny, I won't lie.
It was funny after the fact, but at the time, yeah, it shit me up. Like, the first few levels of Half-Life Alyx that are like underground and have crabs and stuff, it's one of the scariest survival horrors ever. And it's meant to be a fucking first person shooter. VR's great though. Anyway, that's
one day I will have fun.
Yeah, one day. One day when we're not locked down, we can like share because you don't live that far away.
That's true.
We can share stuff. You can just come drive up and get it and bring it back and do whatever. But for now, that's going to do it for episode 204 of the Words About Gamescast. Thanks for joining me, Moody.
Thanks for having me, Amy.
Summer Games Fest.
Bring on next week.
Next week's podcast, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
If we don't, then...
If we don't, we will, Nick. We will the next time they do a show.
Yeah.
But for now, I guess we're done talking. So say bye, Moody.
Say bye, Amy.
Say bye, Moody. I thought we were going to do like a back and forth thing.